My dear Delilah, not unlike a neglectful parent eventually remembering that he was supposed to have picked up his children from after-school daycare several days ago, and now suddenly finds himself fearful of the wrath of his wife returning home from a business trip, I find myself once more descending to the underworld in order to collect my belongings before the demonic hellspawns of this land realize that I am without them, and the situation becomes considerably worse. Fortunately, not unlike the journey to any newly discovered, recently claimed, and eventually tamed land, each time I make the trek to the underworld, it becomes considerably less dangerous. There was a time, my dear Delilah, that even getting down to the underworld meant digging through kilometers of rock, taking dangerous leaps of faith, and facing the bubbling, boiling beast known as lava. However, my dear Delilah, not unlike how reaching new continents once required you to brave dangerous, scurvy-inducing sea voyages, and yet now only require you to brave in-flight meals, the act of descending to hell is now about as easy as being condemned to it. And so, following a short, well-timed jump down the hell shaft and a calm stroll towards my lost items, which could have only been more like a walk in the park if it were in fact a walk in the park, I had once more collected all of my belongings and was once more ready to take on the horrific wall of flesh. But not before, of course, returning to my base camp and redepositing my spare items. For if nothing else that I've learned from these recent clashes with death, it is that it is really quite easy to retrieve my lost items, provided that I have a spare suit of armor standing by. And so, my dear Delilah, with spare items deposited and relatively safe journey to the underworld once more partaken in, it was time to call out the wall of flesh once more. My dear Delilah, the much-anticipated rematch against the Wall of Flesh, not unlike the previous bouts with him, did not exactly go too well. I would definitely class it as far from swimmingly. Despite having taken various mind-altering and body-enhancing substances, and wearing my best and most shiny armor, as well as yielding my sweet magical blade and shooting powerful energy bolts out of my magical staff, there was no victory to be had. What's worse, my dear Delilah, is that the horrific Wall of Flesh brutally slayed me or slew me, I'm not sure, long before I had even reached the end of the killing grounds. To utilize a sports analogy, I had essentially lost despite having the home field advantage. What that means I don't know, because I don't really understand sports. However, what I do understand is that it was me and not my surroundings that caused me to lose this battle. And so, my dear Delilah, having once more respawned, collected my spare suit of armor, descended into the underworld, retrieved my lost items, I am now setting off to approach this problem from a rather different perspective. As just as the Rebel Alliance could never have defeated the Death Star without the Death Star plans, the Hobbits could never have defeated Sauron without the One Ring, and Indiana Jones could never have defeated Nazism without the Ark of the Covenant, I am in search of my MacGuffin. Although, technically, if the bad guys are not also looking for it, I suppose it's not really a MacGuffin, and so I guess what I'm really looking for, my dear Delilah, is something more akin to Joseph Campbell's supernatural aid, such as Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, Harry Potter's magical wand, or King Arthur's sense of royal entitlement.